The sun breaks across the New Mexico desert, casting long shadows across weathered fences and red rock formations. Sarah McCray, 34, moves through the pre-dawn with practiced efficiency. Her boots are worn, her hands calloused from years of ranch work. She wears a faded denim shirt and Stetson, her face lined with the kind of quiet strength that comes from solitude and hard work. Sarah, VO people always ask me why I stayed out here alone. Why a woman would choose this, the endless heat, the isolation, the weight of every decision falling on her shoulders. But they never understood. Out here, you're not alone. The land speaks to you. The animals speak to you. And if you listen long enough, you hear the truth. She approaches the barn, a structure that's seen better days, but still stands proud against the desert. The door creaks as she pulls it open. Sarah, easy girls. Morning feed coming up. The horses whinny in response. But then, something breaks the routine. A sound from beyond the barn. Not the usual desert noise. Human. Sarah freezes, her hand instinctively moving toward the rifle mounted near the barn entrance. Sarah, sentid who's out there? She moves cautiously toward the sound, stepping into the pre-dawn light. Near the fence line, about 50 yards out, a figure lies motionless on the ground. Sarah, sentid Jesus. She walks faster, then breaks into a run. Sarah reaches the figure and drops to her knees. It's a man, Apache Jack, 42, though his face is weathered beyond his years. His left leg is badly injured, blood soaked through his pant leg. His shirt is torn, revealing a gash across his ribs. His breathing is shallow. Sarah, hold on. Hold on, I've got you. She begins assessing his injuries with surprising medical knowledge. Her hands are gentle but efficient. She notices something in his right hand. His fist is clenched tightly around something. Sarah, so indeed, what have you got there? Let me see. She gently tries to pry his fingers open, but his grip is fierce. Even unconscious, he holds it like his life depends on it. Sarah, so indeed, all right. Let's get you inside first. She makes a decision. Sarah is 5'7", maybe 130 pounds. Apache Jack is a solid 190. Getting him to the barn will be nearly impossible alone. But she's stubborn. With extraordinary effort, dragging, cajoling, using leverage and her knowledge of physics, Sarah manages to get Apache Jack across the 50 yards to the barn. She's breathless, her muscles straining, but her determination never wavers. Sarah, VO, I'd heard the stories about Apache Jack. Everyone in the territory had. Said he was dangerous. A man who'd killed for less than a glance. Said he'd run from the law for 20 years. Said he was half wild, half ghost. But all I saw was a dying man, asterisk. Sarah's barn has been converted into a makeshift living space over the years. A cot, medical supplies, more than most ranches have, shelves of books, and photographs of family long past. She carefully lays Apache Jack on the cot and begins working. She cuts away his pant leg, revealing a deep gash from what looks like a bullet wound. Her hands work methodically, cleaning, bandaging, speaking softly as she works. Sarah, you're lucky the bullet went clean through. Lucky it missed the artery. Lucky you made it this far. She cleans his ribs, finding the wound isn't as bad as it looked, mostly superficial, but deep enough to have bled considerably. Throughout, his right fist remains clenched. Sarah finally takes a moment to examine it. She gently works his fingers open, revealing a small leather pouch, darkened with age, adorned with beadwork in traditional Apache patterns. Inside the pouch is a photograph, old, fragile, showing a woman and child. Sarah stares at the photograph, then at Apache Jack's unconscious face. Something shifts in her expression. Sarah, Santid, who are you running from, old man? Apache Jack's eyes flutter open. His hand immediately goes to his side, then to his leg. Sarah is there, sitting in a chair nearby, a rifle across her lap. Apache Jack, where? Sarah, easy. You've been unconscious for 3 days. Fever broke this morning. You're going to live. Though there was a while there I wasn't sure. He tries to sit up. He doesn't make it. Apache Jack, you should have left me. Sarah, probably should have. But I didn't. Apache Jack studies her with sharp eyes, assessing. His hand unconsciously reaches for his right pocket. Sarah, so indeed looking for this? She holds up the leather pouch. Apache Jack's entire body tenses. Apache Jack, give it back. Sarah, it's safe. I haven't opened it beyond what was already inside. Apache Jack, you looked at the photograph. Sarah, I did. Hard not to when it fell out into your hand. Beautiful woman. Beautiful child. A long silence. Apache Jack, that child is 41 years old now. Has grandchildren. Lives in California. Teaches music. She doesn't know I exist. Sarah, why not? Apache Jack, because knowing I exist would be the worst thing that could happen to her. I was a different man then. Angry. Violent. I did things. He trails off. Sarah, now. Apache Jack, now. I've spent 40 years running. 40 years trying to be better. 40 years thinking maybe, just maybe, I could find some peace before I died. Sarah, the men chasing you. They weren't going to give you that peace. Apache Jack, no. They weren't. That evening, Apache Jack sits up, his pain managed by whiskey and will. Sarah brings him food, beans, bread, coffee. She sits nearby. Sarah, my father was a rancher. My mother was Navajo. People around here never quite knew what to make of us. My father left when I was 6. My mother raised me out here alone until she passed 15 years ago. I've been alone ever since. Apache Jack, you're telling me this why? Sarah, because you're not the only one running from something. And you're not the only one who knows what it means to have people fear you for what you are, what you did, what blood runs in your veins. Apache Jack looks at her, really looks at her, for the first time. Apache Jack, how did you survive it? Sarah, I didn't, not really. Not for a long time. But then one day, I realized I had a choice. I could let the world's expectations define me, or I could define myself. I chose the land, the horses, the silence, the work. Apache Jack, and that was enough. Sarah, most days. Some days, I still cry about my father. Some days I wonder who I could have been if the world had been different. But most days? Yes, it's enough. Sarah is outside at dawn, feeding the horses when she sees them. 3 riders on the horizon, moving with purpose. She goes back to the barn. Sarah, they're coming. Apache Jack, how many? Sarah, 3 that I can see. Could be more. Apache Jack, then I need to leave. Give me my pouch. I can. Sarah, you can barely stand. You couldn't make it a mile. Apache Jack, then I'll face them. That's what I deserve. Sarah, maybe. But it's not what I choose. She goes to a corner of the barn, moving away loose boards to reveal a passage, a tunnel that leads toward the ridge. Sarah, indeed, my grandfather built this during times when the world wasn't kind to people like us. There's a cave about a quarter mile up the ridge. Supplies inside. Water. Food. I go there sometimes to think. Apache Jack, you do this? For a stranger? Sarah, for someone who's been running as long as me. The 3 riders pull up to the barn. They're federal marshals, weathered men with badges and hard eyes. The lead marshal is Walker, 50s, with a scar down his left cheek. Walker, morning. We're looking for a man. Apache Jack. Wanted for murder. Believed to be in this territory. Sarah, haven't seen anybody. Walker, we have reports placing him here. Sarah, your reports are wrong. Walker dismounts, studies her. Walker, you're alone out here? Sarah, yep. Walker, that's not safe. Not for a woman. Sarah, I've been managing alone for 15 years. I think I'm doing all right. Attention builds. Walker wants to search. Sarah blocks the barn doorway. Walker, we have a right to search this property. Sarah, you have a right to search if you have a warrant. Do you have a warrant? Walker's jaw tightens. Walker, not on me. Sarah, then I suggest you get one. There's a long moment. Then Walker nods to his men. They mount their horses. Walker, if you're harboring a fugitive, it's a federal crime, punishable by prison time. Sarah, then I guess you'd better find your warrant. They ride away. Apache Jack sits in the cave as sunset paints the desert in shades of gold and crimson. His wound is healing well. The pouch sits beside him on the rock. He removes the photograph again, studying it with reverent attention. Sarah climbs the path to the cave, carrying supplies, food, water, medicine. Sarah, they left. They'll be back with a warrant, but that'll take time. You should have at least a week. Apache Jack, and then? Sarah, and then you keep running. Or you stop. Your choice. Apache Jack, if I stop, they'll catch me. Sarah, maybe. Or maybe you send word that you died. Apache Jack dies in the desert. The man underneath, the one who became better, starts over somewhere new. Small town. Different name. New identity. People do it all the time. Apache Jack studies the photograph again. Apache Jack, my daughter's name is Elena. She teaches piano. She has 3 children. The youngest is 7. I've never met any of them. But my mother, Elena's grandmother, she used to write to me. Before she died, she told me about Elena's life, about her accomplishments, about her joy. And you know what it taught me? Sarah, what? Apache Jack, that the best thing I ever did was stay away. Because she had a chance to be good, to be free, to be loved, without the weight of what I was. Maybe it's too late to change that, but it's not too late to ensure she never carries the burden of my name. Sarah, so you'll disappear. Apache Jack, I'll disappear. And in a small town, in a different life, maybe I can finally be something more than what I've been. 3 weeks later, Apache Jack has healed well. Sarah brings him fresh clothes, a simple shirt, jeans, a hat that covers his distinctive features. Sarah, I know a man in Tucson. He doesn't ask questions. He can set you up with new documents, a new identity, enough money to start over. Apache Jack, why have you done this? Sarah, because I see myself in you. Because I believe in second chances. Because I think the world is hard enough without us destroying each other when we get the chance not to. Apache Jack removes the leather pouch. Apache Jack, I want you to keep this. Sarah, I can't. Apache Jack, it's not about the photograph. It's about remembering. You kept me alive. You gave me an exit I didn't deserve. I can't give you much, but I can give you this. The knowledge that someone you helped is going to spend the rest of his life trying to be worthy of that help. Keep this as a reminder that sometimes kindness isn't weakness. Sometimes it's the most dangerous, most powerful thing a person can offer. Sarah takes the pouch, her eyes glistening. Sarah, what will you call yourself? Apache Jack Thomas. I think I'll be Thomas. Thomas seems like a good name for someone starting over. Sarah Thomas. I like it. Sarah watches from her porch as Thomas rides away on one of her horses, heading toward Tucson. He doesn't look back. Sarah, VO people asked me for years what happened that morning. Why I hit him. Why I risked so much for a stranger. I never gave them a real answer. But the truth is simple. Out here, in the desert, you learn that survival isn't about being strong. It's about recognizing yourself in someone else's struggle and choosing compassion. Thomas taught me that. Or maybe I taught him. Maybe we taught each other. Sarah looks down at the leather pouch in her hands, turning it over carefully. Sarah VO. So indeed he became Thomas. Started a life in a small town. He never contacted his daughter. Never disrupted the life she'd built. But according to the letter he sent me a year later, he'd found peace. He'd found a way to live with himself. And that, I think, was everything he needed. She places the pouch on a shelf in her home, next to a framed photograph of her own parents. Sarah VO. So indeed this land, this unforgiving, beautiful, terrible land, has always demanded that we become our best selves, or our worst. There's no middle ground out here. You're tested every day. And if you're lucky, if you're really lucky, you meet someone who shows you which path to take. The camera pulls back, revealing Sarah's ranch beneath the vast New Mexico sky, a small beacon of light and grace in an enormous wilderness. Sarah VO. So indeed that's what I found that morning near my barn. Not a dangerous criminal. Not a monster. Just a man, like all of us, trying to find redemption in whatever time remains. 5 years later, Sarah receives a letter. It contains a photograph. It shows Thomas, healthier, happier, standing with a beautiful woman and 3 children in front of a Christmas tree. On the back, in careful handwriting, Sarah, I found her. Not as her father, as the music teacher at her daughter's school. I listen to her granddaughter play piano every week. I'll never be more than a stranger to them, but I'm part of their lives, and they're never harmed by my presence. I'm at peace. Thank you. Thomas. Sarah holds the photograph, smiling through tears, and whispers to the desert. Sarah, welcome home, Thomas.